those 18. So let's say you had 17, pick any stitch in here and add an increase to get to 18. If you had 16 for some reason, increase in 2 stitches. If you had 20, decrease in 2 extra stitches. These are the 2 rows where you can make up whatever you need to get to 18. Make sure that by the beginning of row 19, you have 18 stitches, even if you didn't at row 16. Okay? So far, here's what we're looking like. When we add the stuffing, it will fill out a bit. Anytime your piece is looking kind of wonky, just know when you add the stuffing, it makes a difference. It changes things. All right, I didn't mark for each of those, but we finished 2 rows. So we finished this. Now we're at row 19. This is the part where we're going to crochet 5, we're going to skip 9 stitches and finish with 4. I think I talk about it a little bit. This is where we're going to make the ears. We're going to separate. So what we're doing is we're taking what is currently 1 whole circle. We're going to basically split it in half. We're going to have 2 circles. We're going to crochet 2 separate circles. We're doing this because then we don't have to crochet a separate ear and then sew it on. We're going to actually do everything in the rounds. I'm going to pause at this point and add more stuffing. You can wait and you can add more stuffing later too. I'm just going to do a little bit along the way. So I'll meet you back here in a moment. Let's get started. So we're going to single crochet 5. Let's start there. My poor little bunny would look better a little bit more stuffed. Need my stitch marker. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Gonna put my stitch marker back in. 4, 5. Okay, I'm not gonna take my hook out. I'm actually gonna leave my hook in. I'm gonna count 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're skipping 9, so we're going to go into the next one. So I'm going to cross over and come at it from the outside. Okay. Hook from under just like you normally would. Pull through. And then 4 more. Well, that was the first one. So 2, 3, and 4. And now you'll notice we've created a little circle here. I'm going to show that part just one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were here. We count 9 ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to go into the next one is going to be our first stitch. So we're crossing over the top. We're coming in from the outside. Okay, grabbing our yarn just like we normally would from the bottom. Pull up and pull through. And And then we're going to continue stitching the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And now we have one little separate ear. All right. Now we're going to do 5 rows of just these 9 stitches. When it's usually just a short amount of stitches, I don't bother with a stitch minder. I just count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now stitch 6 is going to be over here. 5, and it might be a little hard to see the first time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll insert my hook first. And then sort of find my way around the stitch when you're dealing in small spaces like this. So I'm going to unwind. The other thing I tend to do sometimes when I have this many is rather than counting 9 rows, or sorry, 5 rows of 9, I'll just count 45 stitches because it's easier to just count up to 45 than restarting every 9 stitches. Or I'll just stitch a bunch and then count my rows when I'm vaguely back to the beginning. I know that my beginning stitch was over here. So when I get sort of over here, I can pause and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So if I want to go one more, this is also up to you. If you want, you know, a rabbit with 12 rows, keep right on going. If you want a rabbit with 2 rows, stop short. This is where you can put your personal spin on things. Well, not a rabbit, a little peeper rabbit. And then what we're going to do is decrease all the way around and fasten off. So you're going to, and in this case, I'm going to do regular decreases. That'll give us a rounded top look for our bunny ears. Okay. And then I'm going to go into this last stitch here. Looks like I have 2 more stitches. I might have ended up with 10 rather than 9. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna make that my last one. And then I'm gonna pull this, grab some scissors, cut that. This is what it means by fasten off, F-O. You're going to pull out until you've just got a knot here. And you can either go back in with your crochet hook. You can go in up through here, and you can grab this and pull it through. Or you can do the same thing with a yarning needle if you have a darning needle. Yarning, whatever it's called. And there's the top of our ear. We're just gonna leave those extra bits in there. All right, I know it looks kind of funny now because we've just got a bunny with one little, bunny ear here. Let's go ahead and add the second bunny ear. So right now we're down here, insert hook into stitch at the base of the second ear. Let's show you how to do that. So how do we attach yarn when we've already cut it off? I'm gonna start here. You can start on either side. It really does not matter. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna find this stitch at the base of the hook. We're gonna go right here. You could start over here if you wanted to, and maybe this is where I'll put my first stitch in. And all I'm doing is inserting my hook, looping some of the yarn through. This tail, I'm gonna end up tucking in. And here with this extra piece, the piece that's connected to your yarn ball still, I'm going to create a slip stitch right there. And then we're gonna go right over into the next one with a regular single crochet. And that's how we did it. That's how easy it is to attach new yarn. And we're gonna go around our circle. These 2 stitches right here might be a little bit difficult to hold, so you might have to go on the other side to hold your piece. Whatever works. And then this stitch right here. And now you notice we're kind of in the corner here. And this is where, in this previous one, this is where we jumped across. We're gonna do the same thing. So I'm turning this piece all the way around. And I've now taken, so I was crocheting over here. I'm turning the whole piece around. So now that my crochet hook is on this side of the ear, and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna give myself a little bit extra loop there. And I wanna start not in that first slip stitch, but in the first stitch that I made. And we're gonna make a regular stitch. There we go. Just be slow, go slow. You don't have to rush your way through this. Make sure you pull up both sides like I did. Looked a little bit like that second one wasn't gonna pull up. And then we're gonna do the same thing that we did with our first little bunny ear. We're just gonna go around in a circle until it's the same height or a different height. You can do different size bunny ears, peeper ears, whatever you want to do. Have fun with crochet. You can follow the pattern, you can make it look exact, you can make it look perfect, but you can also just have fun with it. So we're going to go in right here. I know you guys can't really, trying very hard not to block. Now you'll notice there is a little hole right here. When we finish this off, I'm going to show you how we cover that hole when we finish. This first round might be just a little bit hard. Like I said, take it slow. All you're doing is single crochet, so no fancy stitches. You're just learning to work around things like the extra ear. That's about all right. All right, I'm going to start my decreases now. I think I went a little bit too far, but that's okay. right. That looks about right. I think I'm going to do one more decrease. I think I have on here 4 decreases. I think it looks a little bit better if you do a 5th decrease. And just really tighten up that top. Okay, what I want you to do this time is leave a little bit longer of a string. Doesn't have to be extraordinary, just, 6 inches or so. And then we're gonna grab, this is my crochet bag. We're gonna grab a darning needle this time. This is what a darning needle looks like. It's a blunt needle. There's no harsh tip on this. Sometimes they're plastic, sometimes they're metal, but they have different widths at the end. I'll show you a couple different styles for the different yarns that you're going to use. So sometimes you'll work with really big yarn. I'll need this one, just the end, to get my yarn through this one. I could probably use this one. It has a bit of a wide opening, but sometimes with my really thin yarn, I need one that's a little bit smaller. So today I'm going to use my big one. We're going to go ahead and fasten off. We're going to pull all the way through. So we have a nice tight knot up here. Oh, guys, I went and told you to stuff that, and then I totally forgot. I forgot to add stuffing. Let's see if we can get some stuffing in there. Otherwise my one guy's gonna, well, maybe we'll just give him a, you know what? We'll give this guy a floppy ear. I'll show you how to do it. This is improv right here. What happens when it doesn't go exactly as you think it's going to? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is kind of close this up a little. So I'm going to pull it through. I'm just going to come out another stitch like this. So we kind of close that off. But because we want to kind of give him a little bit of a floppy ear, what I might do is come back through and then also stitch it back down. And I'm going to bring this, I'm pulling it into where I want it to. So this is going to pull tight over here. But what I also want to do is close this gap. So I'm going to bring it down and over here. I'll show you when we do all this. So at first it's going to pull that. There we go. Got a little floppy ear. And then I'm going to use the yarn here. We're going to split this open. And I'm just going to sew this closed. Then I'm going to put it straight through there. I'm going to go in one more. Putting it, this is not precise. This is what you feel led to do. I'm going to put it in through. Oh, so sorry. I keep bumping my thing. In through here. In through one more stitch. And then I'm going to lead it out. We're going to come over here. Bloop. Just because I feel like it. Okay, does that look the way we want it to look? No hole. I gotta pull this a little bit more. I don't know why we lost our, flop. Oh, there we go. And then I'm gonna put it right back through and out through the bottom. You don't have to do it twice. You can do whatever you feel like. This just hides the yarn in our piece. And then here you're going to pull it a little bit extra, give it a clip, and then a squeeze, and that'll go right back up into the yarn. All right, our piece is almost done. So if you like this the way that it looks right now, it can be done. It is, however, missing some eyes and a nose, so I'm going to stitch those on. I had previously tried to use safety eyes, but with this type of yarn, sometimes the safety eyes pop right out. So I prefer to do stitched eyes and ears with this type of yarn. So I will show you what that looks like in just a second. All right, so I'm adding the eyes right now. I've just picked a different yarn, and all I'm doing is going in, and I started from the back, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way to do this. This is just play around with it till you get something you really like. And sometimes it takes a lot of sort of playing around with things until you get what you like. Not sure I love any of this. This was a good eye. Not sure what's happening over here. Sometimes you might need to pull out what you've done. Again, this is the part of improv. Never be afraid to pull out and try over. Oh, even if you have a yarn that sheds like mad. Okay, let's see. I want this one to go like up there. There we go. I'm going to go in one more time, and then I'm just going to do a little button nose. And what I'm doing for the nose is I'm going through these 2 stitches, and I'm going to go through these 2 stitches a few times. See how that kind of creates the look of the nose there? And then I'm going to go back through to the same stitch where I put it in the first time, and I'm going to pull out here, and I'll show you a little trick. Whew, this yarn. We'll just cut that piece off. What we're going to do is we can cut this a little bit shorter. We're going to tie this in a knot, and you'll notice that knot just disappeared right under the stitches. We're going to double knot that, tie that real short, and then you can take the back of your hook, you can take your regular hook, you can take your pen, you can take whatever you want. Oop, maybe not with that. And all you're going to do is stuff the end of that into those stitches. Invisible. There we go. There's our little funky peeper. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can reach me specifically at george@ncwlibraries.org. This is another version. I wanted to show you another version of what this looks like. This is the difference in yarn and hook size. This is this yarn versus the yarn we were working with. Apologize, my mic went out there. This is really thin yarn, and I was using a 3.5 millimeter hook with this yarn. I was using a 4.5 millimeter hook with this yarn. The yarn size does make a difference. I switched to this yarn because I wanted you to be able to see the stitch definition really well, and it's quite difficult, especially the beginning stitches with this yarn is really difficult. But the stitch definition with this yarn is much, much, much easier to see. So just a couple different versions so you can kind of see what it looks like.